A very good evening, everyone. Myself, Priya, is back again with the Hindu editorial analysis on 26 September 2020. Right. In today's editorial, we are going to discuss the two articles which are given in this editorial. The first one is code debate, and the second one is cesspool. Right. First, we are going to discuss the first article, that is code debate. In this editorial session, we are going to cover you the vocabulary part which is given in this with a brief analysis of the both articles which are given in this editorial session. So we'll move quicker and faster into our editorial. Code debate. Far-reaching in effect, the new labor codes require greater deliberation. Means new labor codes, new reforms need greater deliberation. What is meant by deliberation? Deliberation is nothing but a long and careful discussion, contemplation. So whenever if you want to change anything, like if you take a particular example, if your teachers and your principal try to change or implement any rule, they discuss themselves a lot. That is the meaning of deliberation. A long and careful discussion, contemplation. For example, after much deliberation, she decided to discuss the offer. Means after much discussions and after much contemplations, she decided to accept the offer. Okay. Some laws are far too important. Some of the laws are very much important and have far too much impact. So some of the laws are very much important and they will have a further impact, okay, on the people to be passed in haste or without sufficient deliberation. Okay, to be passed in haste means the meaning of haste is like we can say moving quicker, moving with anxiety, fast, okay, or without sufficient, either more or either less, okay, extreme low or extreme high, or without sufficient deliberation. Okay, the three codes aimed at consolidating diverse labor laws. What is meant by consolidating? Combine, unite, merge, integrate. The two firms consolidated to form a single company. Okay, so consolidating means to combine diverse labor laws, and ushering and reforms fall in this category. Ushering, what is meant by ushering? Ushering is nothing but escort. Like what you say, guide also comes under ushering. You can say that I am ushering you so that you can do better. Means I am guiding you. I am like follow. You must guide someone so that they can do better than before. Escort, guide, signal, or help, all are the meanings of ushering. Officers quickly ushered the protesters out of the hall. Means escorting in this meaning. So the codes were passed in both houses. In the both houses, the codes were passed after a limited debate, means discussion, means arguments and discussion, and in the absence of the opposition. So two houses discussed, but in this discussion there is no opposition. Opposition was absent. And the industrial relations code, the social what are the codes they have discussed? The industrial relation code, the society security code, and the occupational safety, healthy and working conditions code 2020 are an updated version of the respective codes of 2019, which was scrutinized. Means scrutinized by the standing committee. What is meant by scrutinized? Scrutinized is nothing but examining very carefully, or you can say inspecting. Whenever you observe something very carefully, that is nothing but I scrutinized her very carefully, I examined her very carefully. Okay, that is nothing but scrutinized. Therefore, there is considerable merit. There is something achievable merit in the argument that the fresh drafts introduced a few days before their passage ought to have been sent back to the panel for an assessment. Okay. It is significant that the most contentious feature. What is meant by the most contentious feature? Contentious is nothing but disputable, controversial, or you can say debatable, contended. For example, the couple were in the middle of a contentious disease. Okay. And the next one is in a contentious feature, the increase in the threshold for an establishment to seek government permission before closure, layoff, or retrenchment from units that employ 100 workers to 300 was not found in the 2019 draft but has been introduced now. Okay, what is meant by this one is they will develop some codes, but those codes were not established in the 2019 draft. This is 2020 draft. The codes which were not established, though they are established but were not implemented in the 2019 draft, are now implemented in the 2020 draft. What is meant by threshold? They indicated a word threshold. Threshold is nothing but doorstep, doorway, entrance. We are on the threshold of a new era. So we can say this pandemic gave everyone a new lifestyle. So we are on a threshold of a new era. You can't say it as an era. We are on the threshold of a new change. Okay. Now, this gives establishment greater freedom in determination and exit decisions. No one disagrees with the basic objective of amalgamation, simplifying, and rationalizing labor laws. Rationalizing means cutting, or you can say curtail. So decreasing labor laws and all those comes under that. However, the very fact that it involves a voluminous body of legislation. Legislation means something done according to the law. Voluminous body means large, lengthy, you can say like that, of legislation should have meant that the final version was widely discussed with the stakeholders and given sufficient time and opportunity to give their views. Okay, the root of the idea means the origin, the genesis or the root of the idea of consolidated labor codes goes back to the June 2002 report of the Second National Commission on Labor. The broad vision has been to give an impetus to economic activity without adversely affecting the interests of workers. Okay, whether this is adequate means enough, sufficient, adequately reflected, and the new provisions will be tested on the experience of administering the codes. Means they'll be tested, right? They will observe how are the codes implemented, going on, what is everything right and is anything going wrong. They'll test like that. A positive feature is that the Social Security Codes promises the establishment of social security funds for unorganized workers as well as gig and platform workers. What is meant by gig? Gig is nothing but two-wheel. It's not three-wheeled carriage. It's two-wheeled carriage pulled by one horse and a temporary job. Okay. And also says their welfare would be addressed with the National Social Security Board. So all these, they are all labor, right? All the welfare of the people around them and themselves will be held under National Social Security Board. A contentious section allows the appropriate government to exempt any new factory from all provisions of the code on occupational health, safety, and working conditions. The threshold for considering any premises of a factory has also been raised from 10 to 20 workers without the use of power. Okay, so employment must be given so that there will not be unskilled people. Okay, what is the problem here? The laborers are not able to get employment. So why? Because the technology has improved so that there is no need for labor. But what are they becoming here? So what they indicated here is 10 to 20 workers without the use of power and 20 to 40 with power. Obviously both are needed. If both are needed only, they can work simultaneously, right? It is significant that almost all major trade unions are opposing the new codes. Why so? Because they have to give salaries to them. Almost all the trade unions are opposing the new codes, so they must give them salaries and all those. So they are saying that we don't want workers, we have power, so that no need of employment to all the labor people. And this reflects a genuine fear that expansive powers of exemption that have been conferred on the respective government, and there has been excessive delegation of the rule-making powers. Conferred. What does meant by conferred? Grant a title or benefit. Have discussion. Converse. So grant a title or benefit. So for example, let I be a very talkative person. So what my teacher give me a title that a talkative girl. Like that, that is nothing but the meaning of conferred. To be easy, you can understand it easily. Okay, the threshold for layoffs as well as various social security schemes can be raised by executive order. The safety standards can be changed. There is no much reason to fear that conferring wide discretion. Discretion means care, caution, wideness. You can see when anything is being repaired on the road, you can see the word discretion. You must be careful. To the central and state governments may not be conducive to the interests of workers. Right, our first article is completed, and I hope every one of you have understood it very well, and I thank every one of you for watching this video. Thank you very much.